A-frame or something?
I mean, A-frame, smile.
Is this YouTube?
This is YouTube. There are only two. Are there three?
Yeah, straight 1, 2, 3.
Oh, oh, that's even better because I really need three.
So these are going to go above the door?
Yeah, these are going to be transom lights.
Jesus, are you going to get them up there with the tractor?
I don't know. There's the contraption. Hopefully it makes it home. We got 3 windows that are all going in the garage, hopefully. All right, it's cold out.
Go.
Let's go. All right, my system worked great. Everything stayed in place. It's like that just barely stayed in place. The glass is all here. We actually have 3 units here, which is awesome because we have a 3-car garage, and I thought we only had 2, and I was worried about what we were going to do about it wouldn't look right. So I'm going to try and take the wood off of these so that we end up with just glass. But I'm just happy to get them here. I'm gonna put them in the woodshed for now, and that'll keep the wind from blowing them over, and we'll get to them when we get to them. Well, welcome back to the channel. It's a bit of a chilly one this morning. I just showed you me going to get 3 used patio door glass units, which are going to be transom lights in the barn. I did that this morning. I'm planning to saw, let's see, this is the last pile of logs, and I'm planning to get through this today. I might get through the whole pile today, and if not, tomorrow morning. Tomorrow's Easter. I'm hoping to get this done today, but a bit of a late start. Anyway, most of the snow is gone. There's still some snow around, piles around the barn. Let's see if we can see. There's still some over there, but it's almost gone. Thank goodness. I'm ready for spring. Birds are all here chirping away. I thought, what can I do to make this a little bit more interesting? So I think what I'm gonna do is talk about the logs as they go in the mill, what I think I can get out of them, how I'm gonna go about doing it, whether they're worth getting beams or boards out of or whatever. Maybe that will be interesting. So, but the object today is to get through the pile. So there you have it. I'm not going to film every little bit. Hopefully it'll be a little interesting. All right, well, I got to get the sawmill. Oh, let's tip this down a little. There we go. I've got to get the sawmill up and running. I mean, I got to get the sawmill all fueled up and get the water container filled up. And I'll get that done. It'll be a few minutes for me, but just a minute for you. Just a second. So, all right, and we'll start making some sawdust. So stick around. All right, this log is actually just, I don't know what happened, it's just under 12 feet. It's short of 12 feet by an inch. I'm not going to get too worked up about it, but I need a about 12 more feet of 4x8s for the bottom plates. So, and I'm thinking this is big enough that I might be able to get an 8x8 and a 4x8 out of it. Hi, Maestro, you on film? So that's what I'm going to attempt to do. There's no guarantees I'll get it out, but we're going to try to get, basically saw this into a 8x12 and then cut off 4 inches of it to give me an 8x8 and a 4x8. Well, I got 2 sides cut. And that's going to give me a good indication of whether I can get what I want, which is a 8x8 and a 4x8. And it's gonna be oh so close. I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna flip it and cut and try to cut. Yeah, it just doesn't look like. I think I'm just being overly ambitious that I'm gonna be able to get that out of there. So I think what I'm gonna do is I need to get a 4x8. I have to do that, and I'll get boards out of the rest. And I think I've got plenty of beams, but beams are something I can also put back on the mill and resaw. So I think we're going to go for that. We're going to go for a 4x8 and then whatever boards we can get out of it. And you just got to be like that with every log. Unless you've got giant logs and you can, you know you can get stuff out of it, that's fine. But this stuff, I'm trying to squeeze as much out of it as I can. So you got to be flexible. You can see the width here. I couldn't get 12 1/8 out of this way. So, but I am looking at it in this direction, and I can get 12 1/8 in that way. So, change of plans. We're going to saw this at 12 1/8, and that'll give me an 8-inch piece, an 1/8 of an inch kerf, and a 4-inch piece. And then I'll just saw it down to 8 inches in this dimension, and we'll get what we wanted out of it. I can't believe it. Oh well, first mistake of the day. Told you something and I was wrong. All right, I managed to get a 4x8 and an 8x8 out of there. They're not beautiful. I'll have to take off the bark, but I'm okay with that. I got to go find some gloves because my hands are freezing. I seem to have lost my gloves somewhere along the way this morning. All right, gotta go find gloves, and then I'll edge these, and then we'll start on the next pile. All right, the next one on the deck is this 8-footer, and it's so crooked. I need to get 2x4s, but I'm not getting 2x4s out of that. That's too crooked. I'm gonna get just some boards out of it. It's probably 1x6s. And this one here is not as crooked. I'm not sure. It's a top log. I might get 1x4s out of that. I haven't decided. I do need a pile of 1x4s, but for now, that log there is going to be 1x6s. All right, this is not a very good looking log. It's actually too small to get decent boards out of. I think though it is straight enough, I am just going to get 2x4s out of it. So I'll get 2 2x4s on the flat. Maybe I'll cut, it'll be 4 inches, and then it'll be another 2x4 on the flat. That's what I'm going to try to get. We'll see here. Let's just film it, see what happens. right, all I could get is two by fours and a 1x4. At least it gets used for something. I mean, it wasn't, most places that would go to pulp or be left in the woods. All right, on to the next log. That's a 10-foot log, and you can see it's kind of crooked. It's not good enough for beams. I can't get an 8x8 out of it. So I got to lift up that end there with a tow board, and then we'll cut boards out of this. All right, this one is a 14-footer, and I'm gonna get an 8x8 out of it. It seems, yeah, it's gonna become a beam. All right, this log is in. Oh, Jesus. This log is interesting. I cut this tree down. This is not the butt log. This is up probably 20 feet, 16 feet. I'm theorizing that this property's been logged before, a couple of times. And I think what happened was this tree was injured. Another tree was felled next to it and spun it all up and just took the bark off of this section. And but you don't see any rot down here, so it's going to be interesting. I'm going to take a cut off of here to try to clean this up, see how far the rot goes. The tree's doing its damnedest to grow over here, but anyway, I took this tree out because of this injury. I mean, the rot isn't going to go away, and it's going to be years and years before the tree closes up around it. So it was a good candidate to take out. So let's saw it up. Let's take a look what the next piece of wood looks like. Oh yeah, you can see the rot in here. So this is red rot. It goes up the whole tree here. I think I'm going to actually flip it over, and I think if I take one more board off, we'll get into something that's usable. But I'm going to do the other three sides first. All right, let's look at what this is. So that was the first cut, which came down to here, and Dang, it looks pretty good after that. So, one of my forestry professors, when we would work at the sawmill, he would call that bois de poulet. Now, I'm not French, but he said that that was chicken wood or chicken coop wood. I don't know what I'll do with it. I don't think I'm going to save it. I think it's going in the burn pile. Anyway, the rest of the log looks pretty good. All right, I'm just about out of battery. I'm going to turn this thing off and keep sawing. All right, these are the last two logs, two pine logs I have. I think I'm going to buck this one. It's got a crooked end. I'm going to get 2x4s out of that. And I'm just going to get boards out of this one. So I sawed this into a 10x10 because I'm not, if you look at the scale here, so the 4/4 is an inch and a quarter. Those fours are on 1.25 inches. So if I start at 1 inch and I go to the fours, they all end up at 10. It's actually nine boards. It's an inch. Yeah, 9. Anyway, so if I saw the blanket to a 10x10, I have the option of leaving it as 10-inch wide boards or cutting inch and an inch boards out of it, inch with a 1/8 of an inch curve. So it's kind of an interesting number that now that it's a 10x10, I have the option to either cut boards off of this side or off of this, out of this face. And so I'm looking at this I'm looking at this beam here, and I think that I want to cut boards off of this way. I think that's the best option because we've got more clear wood here with less wane than on this side, which we have less. So I'll get more 10-inch wide boards here across here, and I'll have to edge just these couple. So that's kind of the thought process that this was so close to going either direction that I figured I would just cut it into a 10x10 and then decide which way to cut it from there. So it's already 10 inches wide, so I just have to flip it. and then I can cut boards out of the whole thing, and then I'll just edge the ones that have wane on them. So I end up with 6 10-inch wide boards and 3 boards that I have to edge, and I would have had more boards, less 10-inch boards if I had cut it in the other side. Hopefully it does. Hopefully that makes some sense. Anyway, I'm going to turn the camera off. Pile is growing. I've got 2x4s to stack, and I'm hoping that I have enough pine to make the garage, because starting on Monday, which is 2 days from now, I'm going to start the timber frame garage. So you guys that have been waiting for that, it's actually going to happen. All right, thanks for watching this, and yeah, stick around for the next videos. They always come up about once a week. Thanks again.